많아. 근데 공항에 너무 아무도 없다, 사람. 와. My grandma likes this kind of stuff. 그냥 귀엽다, 판다. 예. 야, 이거 대박. Oh yeah, I can have a German beer.
Right.
와, 대박.
That's on the last
A little bag will be cute for Graham. How much is it?
You can read.
I wish I can have. This is authentic, you know.
Of course, if people can buy.
한국은 지금 독일.
I only want the cheapest thing, about $3 less.
Look at
And then
that.
you can just take a, yeah. There are
너무 예쁘다.
there's a building here published.
어디? What is that?
It's a good one.
진짜.
It's too cold.
Too cold?
Pretty much exactly like this. So now we don't even have to really.
But this
The
is the
difference
only.
is this is Prague's way safer and cleaner. We could have just stayed in the airport the whole time.
Whoa,
Oh, thank you.
thank you.
So what is that going to show?
I don't want to be in because I look ugly now. I look...
Airports just have a Western system. Like McDonald's. So they have a lot of outdoor seating, but
I wish my daughter do the ballet in her life. 이게 closed?
one caca.
And one
Pickle.
pickle.
How much?
Yeah, just on.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Isn't it bread or sausage? 맛있어? 배고팠어, 게이지? Were you hungry? 이게 돌멩이지. 아. 맛있어?
Do one by one.
소스 썰게. 치즈.
Oh, great.
물. 하이. It's a good deal. 나쁘지 않은데? 우와. What is this building? Pretty chill. I like this
Just
one.
walk around, eat something. Go to the
Isn't
top,
it super good?
chill.
Well, we will be in Prague for like how long? Like
5, 6 days.
is it from Germany?
Pretty sure.
Oh, I thought it was London. There was a bridge in that square, and that's all.
Yeah.
아 진짜?
There's 2 toilets and 1 shower.
아 진짜? 우와.
Now they see the.
우리 게이지는 레스토랑 찾고 있어. 나는 이거 테이크아웃 자켓.
Your Wi-Fi.
I thought it was like a cockroach. 깜짝 놀랐네.
It's a euro.
바퀴 걸린 줄 알았어. 야, 이 주방 너무 귀엽다. 와. 저기가.
Wow, it's gonna be sun. Some toothpaste.
프라이스 첫 나이.
What the fuck is French taco?
그러니까 프렌치 타코 뭐야?
There's lots of places.
완전 많아. 야, 진짜 진짜 크다. I can only read it. 봐봐. Yeah, cheapest one, but not the sparkling one.
Is it sparkling?
Isn't it? Is it? 이게 내추럴 이거지?
Yeah, that one might be sparkling.
왜? 드디어?
미웠어요.
개지? 근데 그 위에 있는 포토가 이상해. I know, student, schooler, they're all same from me.
No, schoolers is like, you're trying to make it work like people who go to school. Schoolers. It's called students. not
But
schoolers.
it makes sense.
Oh my god, cool. Let's go on that side where the sun is.
어떻게 거리가 이렇게 예뻐? 베이지. 알겠어, 가. 이 날씨가 너무 추워. 아침이라 얼굴도 부었어. 우와.
That's why I think they're quite expensive compared to Germany.
너무 예뻐. 저거 봐. 저거 그거다. 유대인. 응. 너무 부럽다.
They don't just visit here. They live
그러니까 너무
or do
부럽다.
business.
진짜로? Because you had a copy. 어떻게 이렇게 예쁘냐. 이거 캐세터 아니야? 아 뮤지엄이네.
Yeah.
어디? 야 이거 빨리 카페 찾아. 이제 빨리 화장실 가야지.
Starbucks. Shit.
여기까지 와서?
We might have to go to the Starbucks.
Yeah. First cafe for the Czech Republic is Starbucks.
It's gonna move and sing and do everything. And it still works.
아 그러네. I wonder what's the for. 하긴 매실 받았으니까 필요한. 응? It's gonna be ring soon. Ding ding ding. In 2 minutes I think. 내 말이.
What's that? What's up?
너무 예쁘다. 땡. 땡. 야 날씨 최고다 오늘. 왜그래? 우와. Then me and you both come out. isn't that Evangelion? 에반게리온 같은데.
Beef goulash, yes.
오.
How much is it? Ginger.
여기 진짜 비싸. 아 웃겨.
Really? I know a place that's way better.
진짜?
I've had it before.
어.
I know exactly where it is. So what do you think? Trying to skim.
3만 원?
Oh, per person. It's there. Go. Oh, can I go in?
와 여기 너무 예쁘다. 저기.
We use the online menu. You can use.
누가 들어가요? How can the drink be cheap?
The drink should be cheap.
와 맛있겠다. 와
Oh, it's marked up with the butter and the eggs.
inside of the omelette.
Yeah.
돼지 여기 해리포터 있다. Isn't this Anna? Maybe not. I think I saw the influencer, the girl with the red hands. 한국 가이드에서 한국. 오늘 날씨 진짜 좋다.
좋아요.
아니. 우와.
You just said ice cream.
I sometimes like confused. What's that?
Yeah. But I don't want that.
맛있겠다 근데. 여기 되게 많네 이거.
You get caught using it. I don't know. It's illegal. They're different kind of marijuana, not the actual one.
I'm talking about marionettes, not marijuana. The little doll.
It's not called marijuana.
It is called marionette.
Not Mario, it's marionette.
야,
And another word is
그게
puppet.
그거지. 여기에요? 이 안에 있어? 그 움직이는 엘리베이터? 오. Hello, green. Hello, pink. Look at this, like, shoo. Now Starbucks must be super full.
You probably don't even accept us.
Look at the top.
Doesn't it make you kind of feel like you got scammed?
Oh, not really.
Really?
I just think that, oh, there's a variation. 우와, 이거 봐. 우리 너무 귀여워. 이거 봐, 이 맘모스.
알겠어.
너무 귀엽다.
알겠어.
이거 I need to send this. 야, 진짜 너무 예쁘다. 어떻게 이렇게 도시가 예쁠까? 오, 멋져요. 네.
Cool.
It's looking. So tomorrow you're gonna go that side. case for the.
Oh yeah.
Old card for. Me? Was it here? Oh, for men?
Yes.
Oh, whoa! She find a recommended. Oh, come here. Yeah, that one looks super nice. 그러니까.
We sat there, didn't do anything. We rode a couple stops, and the guy comes up and says, "Ticket," and then says, "Do you have a ticket?" I said,
They probably paid this. 멋있게 do. 비추. 와.
"Let's go to the square." 2 days, 3 days. That's it.
독일 남자 같아. I mean, I like here, but I'm not sure how it's gonna
Right, it's hard to
be like if I. You remember in? No.
Sounds like a university bar that you can go. Maybe it's close to the Capitol, but it's only for like students that know how to get in there.
You look super cool with the car. Wow. 나가봐.
가자.
Can you make it?
Oh, this is.
I mean, right now.
Yeah.
오, 오.
They're trying to claim it as cream.
콜라멘티움 보러 왔어.
That's not what I do it.
베이지 식당에 밥 먹으러 갑니다. 베이지가 추천한 레스토랑 여기. Are you gonna send that to your? 진짜 맛있다.
I used to make this for me when I was a kid.
I think you should learn how to cook this. With the Charles bread. 금방이라도 cry 할 것 같았어. 너무 예뻐.
Like making it look nice. And now we get impressed that someone makes like a little sandcastle dog. But people are making stone statues.
It's funny that like people got surprised that little artist in among between the whole beautiful architecture.
Because the sand, you can literally just like, if you make a mistake, like fix it real quick. And
야, 대박 멋져. 어떤 게 싫을까? 잠깐만. 귀여워. So this is the cathedral?
I think some of these walls.
여기 있다.
A lot of beautiful city.
I mean, how can they even make this?
The gods are it's possible.
Oh, the angle is so funny. 뭐라고요?
앉은 사람 누구세요? 저요.
진짜 멋지다. Try to make it. If you put your tongue on the top of the mouth, then it.
It already is. Right? Look. I'm already sucking it. Look. Ready?
So,
That's it.
the whole time. 그 서머 카페.
The cafe?
어,
This is like ginger orange.
이거는?
Plastic bag.
이것도? This cute. 아 귀엽다. 야 이. 기다리는 중. 먹을 곳을 알아보는 중.
Let's show it. Alright?
여기 보세요. 야. Okay. You found the good one?
Yeah.
뭔데?
Follow me, follow me.
아야. 이게 뭐야? I don't know. I think it's a restaurant.
For my makeup.
게이지 이름이 게이지도 아니고 God.
Looking at it.
John? No. God. God.
I can get unlimited cider.
So they check the amount of beer we order by this. It means like.
What is somewhere? So you want to try that?
Tomorrow I want to look around the city. You can go there today, all the way there that I planned, then yeah, that'll be great. You're like, you 귀여워.
Die schöne Sache, wenn du zu mir hast.
Dude. 진짜 그래도 pretty doll. 뒤에 계단이 너무 많아.
계단?
계단.
계단.
계달? 아니야. 아니야, 나 계단이라고 했어. 계단이 너무 많아. 근데 dessert is more calmer and not famous, I think. 계속 계단만 걸어가.
She had a virgin birth. What's the story of Jesus? It's just a story.
Look at my shoes as well. It's also broken. This is all I can't enjoy. 진짜 멋지다. 아 졸려.
I've never seen an outdoor Starbucks before. That's crazy. Like the priest is literally outdoors.
그니까.
Like there's no.
They have honey wine. When can I become young? 누구세요? 누구세요? 이거 you normally get this when you got a fire, you know?
In Korea, you can buy like an ice thing and it burns the skin.
I just pull it up by myself.
Yeah,
It hurts, but you can just do it right away.
it bleeds. Pretty crazy. Czech is a Slavic language.
그치? They used to be the same country. 좋다 그래도 따뜻한 거 먹으니까 따뜻해. 궁전.
건전?
궁전.
금전?
궁전 means castle. 궁전은 palace.
금전?
궁전.
금전?
잉. 궁.
금전.
Super pretty.
You recognize this?
야야야야. 진짜 왜 저래?
금전 is song.
This is a Lenin Mall.
Yeah, do you know what? I want just like one small.
Okay.
Let's just take it.
I know. Did you get one Gajo or not yet? We're looking at. Dekoyu means like thank you. Dekoyu.
Why don't you shout out something? Yeah, no kidding. Hello.
Hello.
Have a good evening. You too. That's good. What was your question?
사람이 아직도 많아요.
I had that.
I can do it.
It's slogan I can just read it.
You mean?
No, I just don't know.